Alright, as you can see, I've diaper pinned all the I pinned it all up, and now I'm going to sew. Begin to sew. Now, because this is a newborn, I'm going to add a small fronted piece of elastic here, and I've already got my placements for it. And instead of turning at the front like I would normally do because I want to have that dip, I've moved my elastic in just a tad on the back, and I'm going to turn right before my elastic at the back. So I'm going to start, my starting point is going to be right before the elastic. And I'm going to sew directly on the green line that I've traced from my pattern. Okay, back up to the top, back stitch here, and then I'm cut, and then I'm done with that part. Now the instructions want you to apply the elastic. Because this is a newborn, I am going to go with a 1/4 elastic on it. Get down, sugar. Get down. Yeah, get down. No, I know, cheese. I hear you, cheese. Alright, I move my setting over to a 3-step elastic, or 3 steps zigzag step. Now I'm going to apply the elastic. You see, I just have the whole roll here. No. And then I usually start at my legs, but I start at the back or the front. I have my marking here. I'm attaching the elastic right before or right after into the seam allowance, right next to the sewn line, which is the green line. First I'm tacking it down, and then I pull as hard as I can, let back in some of it, and keep hold on my pull, and then tack while I've got it stretched out. Now I've attached, I will cut. Another way you could do elastic is, they say to do, if you are going to be doing a 4-inch spot, you'd put a 2-inch piece of elastic in. So like a 7-inch spot would be a 3.5 piece of elastic. That's up to you. I tack and I pull it down as tight, then I let go some, and then I just tack it down and I cut when I'm done coming at the end. It takes a little bit of practice to get that method down, so you're not pulling too tight so many times or letting loose so many times. Needed to remove all my pins earlier. Now on the front elastic, since this is one that is a newborn, I want to make sure I do the dip with the elastic as well. And this is a very short little piece just to help with the dip itself. And this will just help do a little bit of, it'll help the dip down a little bit so it doesn't rub the umbilical cord off or raw. Now I'm at the step where I'm going to go ahead and trim off any little strings that need to go, any little pieces that need to go, and this is also the time where I trim my seam allowance. Now with this I make sure I just go close to it, but make sure I don't sew on the sewn line or hit my thread where I've sewn it shut, because if I do, I'll get a hole in my fabric. And this is where I just trim off any extras. Now, I'm getting back up to the spot where I have to turn and close it. So I make sure I don't get too close to the sewn line there, because I don't want to make it where I cannot tuck that in and sew there. Now I'm going to turn my diaper. I go to the inner and the outer, and I go here to turn it. And I stick 2 fingers in here. And because I didn't leave myself a very big turning space, it makes it a little bit more complicated to turn.